Sam Utne is always thinking. His current project is a startup called Postography, which is an app that lets a user send a postcard from their mobile device. Here's an actual postcard that goes in the US mail and can be stuck up on a fridge. As part to this point, there's been many steps, too many steps to get into this video, and he says he doesn't really know what he wants to do, but there's an evident consistency through all of it. I think probably he's doing just exactly what he wants to do.
My first business was when I was 12, and I was a professional magician. I did kids' birthday parties. So I started by charging $35 for a half hour, and my parents encouraged me to do it, and they got me to do my little brother's birthday party. And instead of paying me, they paid for my business cards, and I handed them out and got more business off of that. And it was the most I've ever been paid. It got up to $250 for a half hour.
At the age of 12?
I was probably 15 by then, but that was a lot of money. That still is a lot of money. The way that I've sort of seen magic tricks is they are a series, it's a sort of a journey that you're bringing the audience member on. And that translated for me really easily into user experience and each screen that you move through and what click leads you where, and just thinking about all the options for it. And a friend of mine had been running a business for a little while that was a CD distribution company. I started working with him on that because he was trying to look for a way of making that digital. And I knew nothing about working with sort of online tools, web tools, or anything. I took on the design, the sort of user experience design of it, a lot of the fundraising, did a lot of the first partnerships with magazines and newspapers, and it was a lot of diving in and just being energetic and trying. We started calling people that we knew in different cities and saying, we're going to come to your city and we're going to have a cocktail information session on the company that we're starting. And if you would come, we'd really appreciate it. And if there's anyone you'd bring, that would be wonderful. And we'd go to New York and Boston and San Francisco and LA, and did just an evening. We'd get some friend to give us their conference room, and we'd have some wine and cheese there, and we'd just talk about the company that we were building. And we raised about $1 million doing that in like $25,000 increments. So I was in New York. He had moved out to Silicon Valley and was running it from out there. He had an office there. Long distance was tough. I was working by myself and ready for something else. And so we had a chat, and I decided to look for something else. And I ended up applying to a company that I thought was really interested, and it was about building new businesses and products for Fortune 500 companies mostly. And it was an innovation consultancy here in New York called Fahrenheit 212. So it started out as a paid internship, and I did an internship in the innovation side. So they're a very cool innovation consultancy, and what they do is they have a real sort of church and state separation between the business side, which they call the money, and the innovation side, which they call the magic. So I did an internship on the magic side, on the innovation side, and but I was sitting on the business side a lot of the time. So I was spending a lot of time back and forth. And when they offered me a job, what they actually ended up offering me was, it was called business manager, but it was the only person who linked both sides, really, aside from the CEO, who gave sort of a final decision. I have way too many to-do lists and way too many sort of idea lists. I have ideas flowing through Moleskine notebooks. I have reminders in my phone. I have emails to myself. I have things all over the place. I don't know that I found exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm not sure that I still know what I want to do. I think it's been this sort of long trajectory of playing with things and trying new ideas and being kind of a restless wanderer. I was realizing that I loved working for startups, and I loved working with people that I really liked working with. And I had all of these sort of creative projects out there in the world that had really no business model behind them, and I decided that I wanted to put an idea out in the world that really did have a business model and work on that and sort of see if I could make that happen. Those were all things that I would do after work. I was doing it during Fahrenheit, during all the other companies I worked on. And they were just passion projects, sort of creative adventures. And so Postography, the app that I've been working on, has been a dive into trying to create something that's a real app in the world, doing something, creating a physical product, and has a real business model behind it.